Good morning. I'm Kimberly Edwards with cookingwithkimberly.com, and this morning I'm kind of hungry. I don't often enjoy breakfast very much, but today I'm very hungry, and I figured what I would do is make a twist on a southern recipe that I really enjoy making. It's really easy to make. It's very inexpensive to make as well. And it's called hot water cornbread. Now, if you've never had that before, it's kind of similar to, you might not have had this before either. South Americans make something called arepas, and it's a cornbread, kind of like a fritter or a patty, and it's fried, like pan fried, and you can eat it with cheese and stuff like that. Anyways, hot water cornbread, it's kind of like that. It's a cornmeal patty that you're going to pan fry. However, what I wanted to do, instead of just the basic recipe, which is also on the site, and I will also include a link in the blog post for it, I'm doctoring it up a bit. I want some flavor this morning. I want something tasty and delicious and a little bit more nutritious than just plain old cornmeal, which isn't very nutritious at all. So I figured I would try a Mediterranean style hot water cornbread. So this is going to be kind of interesting. It's going to have red peppers and some parsley and onions and feta cheese in it. And then I'm going to top it with tzatziki sauce, just a quick one. And I'll show you exactly how to make that. So very, very simple. I have a very flat bowl to use for mixing. I don't need a lot of room to mix either. But I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see exactly what's going on. I'm just going to put 1 cup of all-purpose cornmeal, just plain old whatever cornmeal. Okay, 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. I would usually put some sea salt in to flavor it. However, today I'm using feta cheese, and that's rather salty, so I'm going to hold off on the salt entirely. Being from the South, living in the South and learning Southern cuisine, I like my cornbread to be very sweet. So I'm putting a tablespoon of sugar, just plain white sugar in. Also, I need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And this is going to help everything rise and be fluffy. So here's that. It's very simple. What you're doing is you're just mixing your dry ingredients in this bowl. I'm also using some freshly cracked black pepper, which I typically wouldn't use. Well, I might use it in just a plain old hot water cornbread recipe. But today we're using flavors, so I do want to level these flavors a little bit more. So I've got the freshly cracked black pepper here. And what I'm going to do is I use a fork. I kind of go old school on this, kind of like when I make pasta from scratch. So basically, I'm just dispersing all these ingredients together before I mess around with the hot water. So there's that. All right, the next step is you are going to add, let me prelude this as well. I already have a large frying pan on the stove with about 3 tablespoons of olive oil in. Olive oil in this case, if you're doing the regular hot water cornbread, you might want to use canola oil or corn oil, or maybe even peanut oil you could use. But today I'm going to use olive oil because it just kind of goes with the Mediterranean ingredients a little better. And I feel like it. So there you go. So here we go. The other thing I've done is I boiled some water in a kettle. You could do it in a pot or in the microwave or whatever, but I have about 1 cup of boiling water in this, it just boiled water in this measuring cup. And I'm going to bring you back down so you can see. And I'm going to add this water about a tablespoon at a time. What you're doing is you're going to incorporate it into the cornmeal. You don't want to add it all at once because you're going to get big clumps. It's going to be all weird and wet. Here's a couple tablespoons at a time now. You're going to increase it. You're looking for a dough that is not sticky, that is not runny at all. You want it to be somewhat stiff. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So just keep going. You're going to add between 3/4 cup to 1 cup of the water. And that's why they call it hot water cornbread, because this is how you're going to form your dough. And you can use a spoon, you can use a fork, you can do whatever you want. It might be a little messy, but it's all good, people. A couple more tablespoons. So it's like, much like how when you make a roux or you're tempering ingredients, you just want to add slowly. Incorporate gradually. What you're trying to do is keep the dough uniformly wet. Be patient. Something I need to work on. This isn't rocket science yet, that's for sure. Actually, this recipe is very simple. I'm going to add a little bit more, see how everything is tying together a little bit, but I still have a lot of loose grains. There we go, and I've almost used the whole cup. It depends on the day as well, and it depends on what cornmeal you have, your ingredients that day. Sometimes you'll use only 3/4 of a cup, sometimes you'll use the entire cup. All right. I have a little bit of stragglers here still. I'm going to use maybe another 1/2 tablespoon of the water, and that should do it. Also, when you make pie crust and you're adding cold water to your ingredients, you're adding it very slowly, just like this, so that you have crumbles, and then you're going to piece together the crumbles that will make the actual dough. The whole key is not to add too much liquid. You don't want it mucky at all. So that's that. And what you're seeing is tiny little crumbles. Now don't be scared. This is warm. It's not boiling hot. You're not going to burn yourself. So I'm just going to kind of bring this together. My next step is to add a tablespoon of olive oil today. So you're going to do like a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about a tablespoon. Regular hot water cornbread, what I really enjoy doing is putting bacon grease in. If you have leftover bacon grease that you've saved over the week or on the weekend because you're making breakfast for your family, the bacon grease works awesome. It's very southern to do that. Nothing goes to waste in the kitchen, and it's delicious. However, today again we're doing a more Mediterranean style. And I'm going to go with the olive oil. You can also use butter if you don't have bacon grease, or you don't want to use olive oil or don't have it. You're just going to knead this for about 30 seconds just to incorporate the olive oil and make sure that it's all in. Okay. Now is the next step. And kneading just means you're turning it from one side to the other, squishing it back down, incorporating all these ingredients, okay? Now you can see that this is by no means a wet dough, and it's by no means really dry either. It's just kind of in between. Okay, so there's that. Now my next step, since it's Mediterranean, is I'm going to add my Mediterranean ingredients, and I'm going to gently distribute them into this dough so that everything is evenly dispersed. So I have about a 1/4 cup of onions. They are very finely minced because I can't stand raw onions in much of anything when I'm eating, especially for breakfast. I have about a 1/4 cup of just finely chopped parsley. You can use any herb you desire, I guess. I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of the red peppers, and they are very finely minced as well. They're kind of wet. See, these ingredients are wet. So you could always err on the drier side of this dough because you're adding some wet ingredients. And this is about a 1/2 cup of feta that I've crumbled up. Okay, now here's the trick. Now you're going to evenly disperse it. You're going to knead it again. Here we go. Oftentimes when you're making things with cornmeal will continue to absorb liquid for a little while. So this should hold up really nicely, and it should soak up some more of the liquid from the onions and the peppers and the feta cheese. Okay, it kind of looks like confetti. It's really pretty. Again, I've never made this before. It's just something I thought up this morning, looking in my fridge at my ingredients. Okay. Hold that thought. Check out that cool dough. Be right back. Hi. All right. So my next step, don't forget, I have the frying pan is on very low heat. It's been on this whole time. By this time now, your frying pan should be hot enough to be able to accommodate what you're about to do. So I'm going to bring you over to the stove with me in just a moment. All right. So this is a simple process as well. No need to be scared. I have a plate reserved here with a paper towel just to soak up any excess grease once we're done, once we're done frying up the mixture. So here's my dough. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make tiny, like they're going to look like hamburgers, but hamburger patties. So and you're going to form them the exact same way. So you're just going to take, come down here. You're just going to take a nice chunk of this. Also, make sure your frying pan is hot enough. I have a little bit of water here. I'm just going to sprinkle in. If it sizzles, it's hot enough. It's sizzling. And that's as simple as it gets. Make sure you disperse that oil around before you put anything in. I'm going to do the little small ones just because sometimes they can be a little much, especially for breakfast. You don't want to overpower anyone. They can have 2 or 3 if they want to. Okay. So I've just formed that into a little patty. Easy peasy, right? Bam, right into the pan. And just continue to do that with the remaining dough. And then I'll move you over closer so you can see what's going on. Aren't they beautiful? Don't they look so pretty? You have the green and the red and the white with the yellow. I think these are going to be great, especially with the tzatziki sauce. What I'll also probably do is quickly run through how I made my tzatziki this morning while these are browning up. I'm going to turn this up to a medium heat. Just make sure your sides are all nice and sticking together nicely. Keep forming your dough. Very easy, guys. Please try this. Experiment at home with different ingredients. You could do a Southwest one with black beans and corn. Serve it with salsa. You can do all different flavors. You could even put breakfast sausage in here or bacon with cheese. Really, the sky's the limit. Always. It's more important to eat what you really like, the flavors that you like, as opposed to making sure you follow everyone's recipes to a T. It depends on what you have in your house at that time. Everyone's on a budget, and you're not going to go buy some crazy exotic ingredients if you don't have them. If you don't have feta cheese, then go ahead and use something else. Use cheddar. Use whatever you have in your fridge. Okay, so it looks like I've got 6 patties here. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Come over here. So what you're seeing here, I have the olive oil. You can use other oils if you like to. What I want is a golden brown color on both sides. Who doesn't love golden brown? And that's pretty much what you're usually looking for whenever you're pan searing. Or pan sauteing, I'm sorry. Make sure the olive oil is completely around it. Okay, I'm going to leave that for a couple minutes. It's probably going to take about 4 minutes aside, I would say. And we will go over here and we'll talk about the tzatziki. Now, I've already made this little sauce up today. Hold on one second. Okay. I've already made this little sauce up today. I didn't have cucumbers, but I honestly, I didn't really feel like cucumbers for breakfast. I don't know. It's just me today. So what I did is I just eliminated the cucumber, which is, it's not a full-on official tzatziki sauce, but it'll do today, that's for sure. So I have, my favorite yogurt is a Balkan-style plain yogurt. It's very nice and thick, and so that's what I've used. Also with tzatziki, you can mix half and half sour cream and yogurt if you like, just the plain kind. It's even better if it's a runny yogurt, to strain it, allow it to sit in a strainer with maybe some cheesecloth or something of that nature, and allow it to just drain of excess liquid. Then what I did is, you could use vinegar if you want to for your acidic agent, but what I've done is I used about a quarter of a lemon for my acid, and about a cup of yogurt. Then I put some fresh dill in, I put some freshly cracked pepper in. What else did I put in there? Jeez. I finally minced up some garlic. I put a whole clove of garlic in there. And that's pretty much my tzatziki sauce that I'm going to top these with. Just something, make it a little more exciting and you know, whatever. So it's going to be delicious. Oh, sorry. And a tablespoon of olive oil. Very, very nice. That's the consistency today. It could even be a little thicker if you wanted to. I'm going to bring you back over to the stove. Again, I used about 3/4 of a cup of the hot water. Well, all right. Here we go. Let's see what we got working here. It smells awesome. I really wish you could smell it. I'm glad I chose this today. We're just going to flip this and take a look at this side. Now this is not quite all the way golden brown that I want, and that's okay. I'm just going to flip it back and allow it to brown a little bit longer. Turn that up a bit. If you're going to babysit it closely, then you can usually turn up the heat a little bit more, just to make sure they're not sticking, and they're not. Man, they smell good. I would say you could add chorizo sausage. That would be delicious. You could do them for lunch or a brunch. You could even add maybe a pulled pork or something like that to them. That would be kind of delicious too. Corn is a very neutral ingredient, the cornmeal. It's very versatile. It's very inexpensive, and you can feed your family on it. It's not extremely nutritious. The body doesn't really digest corn very well, but you can doctor it up and put healthy ingredients in with it, and it's tasty. That's the main point. People love corn. I love it. It's so delicious. But you don't have to put the sugar in if you don't want to. It's a very southern thing to do so. I like that little bit more of a sugar balance. And we'll go back and look again. Let's go see. What did you guys make for breakfast? I want you guys to share with me what you guys typically make. That's a much nicer color. Here, we're going to flip this over. They don't take very long. You're just looking for that color, and to cook these through to the center, which doesn't take very long. And you want to always make sure you have enough oil in the pan. It doesn't run dry because you don't want to burn anything. Usually the second side doesn't take quite as long as the first side, just simply because the pan is hotter and the food is heated through to the center already from one side. Again, we're just looking for that golden brown color. Southern breakfasts are awesome. I was even thinking of doing a grits recipe for you today. I love grits. It's very difficult for us to find grits in Canada at our regular grocery stores. You actually can't. I go over the border typically to go get my grits. Chicken and waffles. I don't know if you've had that. That's one of my favorite southern dishes too for breakfast. Man, it's so exciting to to eat breakfast down south. It's a real treat to have someone make breakfast for you down south, that's for sure. Biscuits, fresh biscuits, buttermilk biscuits, buttermilk pancakes, man. Okay. These are nearly done. So I'm going to give you the rundown. I want you to make sure that you tune into the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. You can follow me on Twitter at cookingwithkime with a capital E. You can also go to the fan page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. And interact with me. Let me know what's going on. I hope you try this recipe. I hope you leave comments for me. And I hope you try different variations and let me know how they turn out. I've been getting a lot of really interesting comments. If there's something that you'd like me to cover, let me know. A certain ethnic food or a tutorial on how to do something or something that you're confused about. If you have questions about your kitchen or your food or any herbs or something like that, I'm here to help you and to make your kitchen less scary and to make cooking more fun. All right. I can't wait to try one of these. It's going to be amazing. These are nearly done. They're looking beautiful. And what I'll do is I'll probably just show you one with the tzatziki. Just check what they're looking like. There you go. Nearly done. I could probably add a tiny bit more olive oil, but I'm nearly done. I think I can manage. I like to use the non-stick frying pans for breakfast. You don't have to by any means. You can use a heavy-bottomed frying pan. You can use cast iron, works very well. I do enjoy making cornbread in a cast iron skillet, as well as bacon and eggs. There's nothing like a cast iron, but a non-stick is a pretty safe bet for just about anything you need to cook in your kitchen in a frying pan. A couple different sizes always helps. I like to have a medium one, a large one, and a small one, or a couple small ones. The small ones especially to do small ingredients like maybe caramelize some onions or saute up some mushrooms or something like that to add to another dish. Now these look fabulous. I'm going to turn these off. I'm going to transfer them from the heat onto this paper towel that will soak up any of the excess oil that you don't really need. You've got all the flavor you need here. Voila. There we are. Come with me. Hi. Okay. This is how I would serve it. I guess you could probably eat it with your hands if you wanted to, if you're on the go. Or you can eat it with a knife and a fork. I'm just going to grab one of these. Lovely. Put these to the side. And I'm going to top it with the tzatziki sauce. They're very hot, just FYI. And let's see how they are. You're going to watch me? I hope I don't burn myself. All right, here we go. They're really super hot. Hold on. Those are really tasty. The onion is cooked through. You could also use a small frying pan and fry up your onions first and add them in. That would have been a great idea, but I was just trying to be fast. The onions are cooked through. The roasted pepper gives a nice little, almost a sweetness even. The herbs are nice to look at. The feta cheese is beautiful. I actually got a new feta cheese the other day from the grocery store. I forget what it's called. I'm going to have to do a blog post on it, but it's probably the best feta I've had in quite some time. The tzatziki sauce just kind of, it cools it off when it's really hot, but it also gives just that little bit of tangy, extra flavor, a little bit creamy. It kind of finishes off the dish. So, get in your kitchen. Try some hot water cornbread. That was like 15-20 minutes, and from start to finish, from everything, and you're done. Super simple recipe. Experiment with it. You'll really enjoy it. Your family will enjoy it. I hope I hope you try them. The tzatziki sauce is wonderful. I would like it with some cucumber, and it would be nice. I guess because I'm feeling kind of brunchy at this point. But yep, try the recipe. This is a hot water cornbread, Mediterranean style, with a southern twang on it. I hope you tune in to Cooking with Kimberly on YouTube. Again, go to the fan page on Facebook. I'm Kimberly Edwards from Cooking with Kimberly. Good morning. Eat deliciously. Ciao.